Namaste. I am Grateful, Sensei of Grateful Dojo, and this is day 17 of my 1,000-day adventure to create a video every day. And there's my video to prove that this is day 2, that I went out for a hike to build my legs and cardio back up. So let's jump into what I want to share in this video. Continuing on with my theory of love, that love is a window to view emotions, and it's right in the middle. Everything above love feels good, everything below love doesn't feel good and starts constricting us and limiting our levels of consciousness. So right now I want to talk about unconditional love, because I keep hearing parents say they have unconditional love for their children, yet that's not unconditional love, because it's conditional that your child is your child, that person is your child, and you then can have unconditional love for them. No. Unconditional love is being able to have love, a feeling above love for anyone. Well, how do we do that? Well, before we do that, I think I need to talk about something else, and that is the idea of compassion. And let me share a story that happened to me and how I had to use compassion. When I was getting close to 50, it had been about a year since my mother had died. And at that time, I'd been going through a lot of personal development, mental training to get myself up, to overcome all of this tragedies in my life. And what happened a year afterwards, my father comes to me and shared a dark secret about my family. And that was the person who I loved and cared about, who had taught me about construction and painting, got me into my first business at about age 10, which was beekeeping. My grandfather, I learned, had been molesting my mother for most of her childhood. When I heard this news, I remember instantly going into massive feelings, rage and all of that stuff. And I also remembered I can control this. And what I did was, after going through and feeling all those emotions for about 5 to 10 minutes, I then went to what happened to my grandfather that made him do this to my mother, which I knew he loved. And I also knew that most of what created who my grandfather was happened from age 1 to 7. So it was like, wow, what happened to him that caused him to do this? I did at that moment, have the mind to think, if he was alive, he should go to jail. Yet, I didn't have anger or any feelings, as I would now call below love. It was all feelings of understanding and a feeling of being able to rise above and look down and say, okay, I have compassion for you, what you did. Something must have happened in your past, because then I saw times with me, I could see how he was regretful, remorseful of doing things in his own life, almost like begging someone for forgiveness. And so having that ability to feel compassion kept me from going negative and down. I never had anger for my grandfather. I constantly say, if he was alive, he should go to prison. And also I never forgave him, because I felt there was no forgiveness to give. He did something, and I simply understood and had compassion for him. And that is what I feel the power of compassion is. I feel compassion is an emotion, or whatever it does and creates, that is above love. And now we can go into unconditional love. How can we have unconditional love for some of the most horrible people on the earth? How can I love someone like that, like Putin, who's attacking Ukraine? How can I have love for him? Well, we go straight to compassion, and we go, what happened to this man, Putin, who was leading the country and was raising it up, that all of a sudden goes nuts? It must have been something that happened to him at age 1 to 7, or something just mentally, because that's just not the actions of a normal person. And while I'm not going to say he shouldn't, serve time for his war crimes, let's have compassion for him. Go to anyone in your life who has done you wrong, and instead of being angry at him or going like, I can't forgive you, simply have compassion for him. This is something above love. I feel this is how we can start having unconditional love for anyone, because now we can move to anyone no matter what they do, and we can find a way to have compassion for them, understanding that they are a result of their past. Then we can go to those that we care and love, what we call love, and we can look through that window and say, hey, I love you because You make me feel so joyful when you do those silly things. And we can do those things. And we can now move to any person in the world and feel something a level above love. If it's compassion or it's all the other good feelings. This is what I feel agape love was. When I was in the Christian church, they talked about agape love and I never understood it. I feel doing it this way, having at least compassion for someone, is the way to find unconditional love for everyone. So this is my ideas for now. As I said, I want to write a book about this. Getting these ideas is helping me. In the next video, or somewhere right real close, I'm going to start talking about how can we use the window of love to learn how to love ourselves. And this is the big one, and I feel it's really easy. And so that's it for now. I am grateful. Namaste.